You ever feel like you're drowning in a sea of energy every time you step into a crowded room? It's not just in your head. If you're one of the chosen ones, someone on a path of spiritual awakening, being in crowds can feel overwhelming for a reason. It's because your heightened sensitivity is picking up on everything: emotions, intentions, even unspoken energies. And while the world might call this overreacting, what if I told you it's actually one of your greatest gifts? Here's the hard truth: the more spiritually awakened you become, the harder it is to tolerate the chaos of crowds. It's not because you're weak, it's because you're wired differently. This sensitivity isn't a flaw. It's a tool designed to guide you toward your divine purpose. But here's the catch: if you don't learn how to manage it, you risk burnout, emotional overload, and feeling disconnected from your path. In this video, we'll explore exactly why crowds can feel so draining for spiritually sensitive individuals. You'll learn practical techniques to protect your energy, how to embrace solitude without feeling isolated, and why authentic connections matter so much to your growth. And if you've ever questioned whether stepping away from the noise is the right move, let me assure you, it's not just right, it's necessary. But here's the big question: how can you thrive in a world that constantly pulls at your energy? Stick with me, and we'll uncover the answers together. Ready to discover why sometimes the best way forward is to step back? Let's dive in. Have you ever felt like you're walking into a room and, without a word spoken, you already know the vibe? That's not coincidence. It's your heightened sensitivity in action. For spiritually awakened individuals, this isn't just a passing feeling. It's a constant reality. Imagine being a radio tuned to every frequency at once. It might seem chaotic at first, but it's also a profound ability to connect with the unspoken truths of life. What if this sensitivity isn't a burden but a clue that you're one of the chosen ones, equipped with an extraordinary gift? People with heightened sensitivity often notice things others completely miss. A subtle change in tone, a fleeting expression, or even an unspoken tension in the air, it all speaks volumes. This isn't about overthinking. It's about a deep, instinctual understanding. You're attuned to energies that most overlook, and this awareness can guide you toward authentic connections and even help you fulfill your divine purpose. But here's the twist: how often do you trust what you feel? Too often, society frames this gift as a flaw. You're too sensitive, they say, as if it's something to fix. But consider this: sensitivity is like having heightened vision in a world of shadows. While others stumble in darkness, you see the path. And just like any gift, the key lies in learning how to use it wisely. So, let me ask you, what if your heightened sensitivity was actually your superpower? Picture this: entering a crowded space feels like stepping into a storm of buzzing energies. You're aware of every emotion swirling around, and it's not just people's words, it's their unspoken truths. It's as if the world around you is painted in colors only you can see. This can feel overwhelming at times, but it's also a chance to read the world more deeply. What stories are hiding in the silence? And how can this awareness guide your spiritual growth? Here's the thing: the world often glorifies logic, but sensitivity brings something equally powerful: emotional awareness. It's like being an artist who sees beauty in places others deem mundane. You can sense not just what's happening but why it's happening. That's not a weakness, it's your edge. This heightened awareness allows you to form connections that are real, profound, and lasting. But here's the challenge: how do you protect yourself when this gift feels overwhelming? The truth is, being tuned into everything around you isn't easy. It can drain your energy, leave you feeling overwhelmed in crowds, and even make you question your place in a noisy world. But every challenge carries an opportunity for growth. Your heightened sensitivity isn't here to break you, it's here to refine you. So, the question becomes, how can you embrace this gift while staying balanced and grounded? Balance begins with solitude, a sacred space to recharge and realign. Solitude isn't about isolating yourself. It's about connecting more deeply with yourself and the divine. Imagine stepping away from the noise to hear the whisper of your own intuition. What clarity could you uncover? In the next section, we'll explore how solitude becomes the foundation for your spiritual strength. But first, reflect on this. When was the last time you truly listened to your inner voice? Ever walked into a social gathering and felt completely out of sync, like a violin playing in a room full of drums? For spiritually sensitive individuals, this isn't rare, it's almost expected. Casual conversations about weather or the latest trends seem hollow. You crave depth, something real, something that aligns with your heightened awareness. But here's the irony. The more spiritually awakened you become, the harder it is to tolerate what doesn't resonate. Can you relate to that feeling? Small talk can feel like a game you no longer want to play. How are you? Good, and you? It's like a script everyone's following, but you're longing for more. The truth is, spiritually awakened people thrive on authentic connections. You don't just want to know how someone's day was. You want to know their dreams, their struggles, what lights them up inside. But here's the challenge. How do you navigate a world where many are content with the surface? Crowds can be especially draining for those with heightened sensitivity. It's not just the noise. It's the energetic chaos. Each person carries their own emotional frequency, and when you're around too many people, it can feel like being bombarded by dozens of radio stations at once. No wonder you feel drained after even a short time in such environments. Have you ever left a party or event feeling completely wiped out, even if nothing particularly happened? That's your energy being sapped. This isn't just about avoiding small talk or crowded spaces. It's about your inner compass shifting. The more spiritually evolved you become, the more you're drawn to relationships that are genuine and nourishing. Shallow interactions don't just feel unsatisfying. They feel like a betrayal of your true self. The question is, how do you honor this craving for authenticity without isolating yourself completely? Society often glorifies being social and outgoing, but spiritually awakened individuals tend to challenge this norm. You may feel like an outsider, wondering why others don't see the world the way you do. But maybe this disconnect isn't something to fix. It's a sign you're outgrowing the old version of yourself. What if the discomfort is simply a reminder that you're evolving? It's not about fitting in. It's about staying true to your own journey. Letting go of relationships and environments that no longer serve you can be painful, but it's also liberating. Imagine shedding a heavy coat on a warm day. It's uncomfortable at first, but freeing in the long run. By releasing what drains you, you make space for connections that uplift you. And here's a secret. The more you embrace your spiritual growth, the more you'll attract people who resonate with your energy. Isn't that worth the discomfort of change? Finding peace amidst this disconnect often starts with solitude. Solitude isn't loneliness. It's a sanctuary where you can recharge and realign with your divine purpose. It's in these quiet moments that clarity emerges. What is your soul trying to tell you? In the next section, we'll uncover why solitude isn't just a retreat. It's a powerful tool for spiritual awakening. But for now, consider this. When was the last time you truly allowed yourself the gift of being alone? Let's clear something up. Solitude isn't loneliness. It's not about being alone because no one's there. It's about choosing to be alone because your soul craves it. In a world obsessed with staying busy and being social, choosing solitude can feel like rebellion. But here's the truth. Some of the most profound spiritual awakenings happen when you allow yourself to step away from the noise. When was the last time you gave yourself permission to simply be? Solitude is a sacred space where healing happens. Think about it. When you're constantly surrounded by distractions, how can you truly process what's going on inside? In these moments of stillness, you can release the emotional baggage you've been carrying and find clarity amidst the chaos. It's not about running away from life. It's about pausing to recalibrate. Imagine how much lighter you'd feel if you just took a moment to breathe and let go. But solitude isn't just about self-care. It's also about connection. Specifically, your connection with the divine. In the quiet, you can hear the whispers of your soul, the guidance that gets drowned out by daily life. This is where your divine purpose becomes clearer, where you align with something greater than yourself. Ever notice how many spiritual leaders retreated to solitude before their biggest breakthroughs? It's not a coincidence. It's a necessity. Here's the magic of stillness. It brings clarity. When you remove yourself from the noise, you begin to see things as they truly are. Problems that felt overwhelming start to untangle, and answers you've been searching for seem to rise to the surface. It's like wiping a fogged-up mirror. You finally see yourself clearly. What insights might be waiting for you in the silence? And more importantly, how might those insights transform your journey? Unfortunately, society doesn't always understand the power of solitude. We're taught that being alone is a problem to solve, that it's better to be busy and connected. But spiritually sensitive individuals know better. Solitude isn't about isolation. It's about preparation. It's in these quiet moments that you gather strength, clarity, and the energy needed to navigate the world. So why does solitude still feel so taboo? Embracing solitude doesn't have to be complicated. Start small. Maybe it's a morning walk in nature, 10 minutes of journaling, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts. Create a space in your home that feels sacred, a place where you can retreat whenever you need to recharge. It's not about the amount of time. It's about the intention behind it. What could you do today to carve out a moment of stillness? Solitude isn't just a pause. It's a power move. It's the first step in learning to manage your energy and protect yourself from the overwhelm of the outside world. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into energy management techniques that can help you thrive, not just survive. But for now, ask yourself this: what could you hear from your soul if you gave it the space to speak? Let's talk about energy, your most valuable, invisible resource. For spiritually sensitive individuals, managing energy isn't just helpful, it's essential. Think about it. Every interaction, every crowded space, every emotionally charged moment pulls at your reserves. Without the right techniques, it's easy to feel drained, overwhelmed in crowds, or even out of alignment with your spiritual growth. So, how do you protect your energy while staying open to the world's beauty? One of the simplest and most effective tools is grounding. Grounding is all about bringing yourself back to the present, anchoring your energy in the here and now. Picture yourself as a tree with deep, sturdy roots. No matter how strong the winds, you remain stable. Techniques like walking barefoot on grass, practicing mindfulness, or even deep breathing can help you ground. Try it now. Close your eyes, take a slow, deep breath, and feel your feet firmly on the floor. Can you sense the calm it brings? Nature isn't just a beautiful backdrop, it's a healer. Spending time outdoors, whether it's a forest walk or sitting by the ocean, has a unique way of recharging your spirit. Trees, water, fresh air, they carry an energy that resonates with our own. If you've ever felt instantly calmer after being outside, that's no coincidence. Make it a habit to connect with nature, even in small ways. What's one natural spot near you that could become your sanctuary? But sometimes, the best defense is a good barrier. No, not a physical one, a mental one. Visualize yourself surrounded by a protective shield, a bubble of light that blocks out negativity while letting in only what serves you. This simple visualization can be a game changer, especially in crowded or emotionally charged environments. Next time you're heading into a tough situation, give it a try. What color would your shield be? Of course, energy management isn't just about big gestures, it's about daily habits. Small rituals, like setting intentions in the morning or unwinding with a calming tea at night, create a steady rhythm that keeps you balanced. Journaling, meditation, or even a quick stretch can work wonders. The key is consistency. Which of these rituals could fit seamlessly into your day? Recognizing your limits is just as important as recharging. There's strength in knowing when to say no, step back, or simply rest. Overextending yourself doesn't just deplete your energy, it disconnects you from your divine purpose. Start paying attention to what drains you and what fills you up. What boundaries could you set to protect your peace? When you manage your energy well, you create space for what truly matters: authentic connections and deeper relationships. The next step in this journey is learning to identify and attract those connections that align with your spiritual path. But for now, think about this. How might your life change if your energy wasn't just managed but mastered? Let's be honest. Have you ever felt lonely even when surrounded by people? That's the ache of craving something deeper. For spiritually awakened individuals, surface-level relationships no longer cut it. You're not looking for just company. You're seeking a connection that resonates with your soul. It's about finding those rare individuals who truly see you. But here's the challenge. How do you find them in a world that often celebrates the shallow? Authentic connections are like hidden gems. They're rare, but when you find them, they're priceless. These are the people who uplift you, who understand your heightened sensitivity and respect your need for solitude. It's not about agreeing on everything. It's about feeling safe to be yourself. Imagine being surrounded by people who celebrate your growth instead of questioning it. Who comes to mind when you think of relationships that feel this real? To make space for these connections, you first have to let go of the ones that drain you. This isn't easy. It means facing the discomfort of walking away from people who no longer align with your values. But every time you release a superficial bond, you're creating room for something more meaningful. Think of it like decluttering your life. What relationships might you need to reevaluate to align with your spiritual growth? Kindred spirits, those rare souls who get you, aren't always obvious at first. They might show up in unexpected places, drawn to the same energies you're putting out. Pay attention to who feels right to be around, whose presence leaves you feeling lighter instead of drained. These are the people who resonate with your divine purpose. Have you ever met someone and instantly felt like you've known them forever? That's the kind of connection you're seeking. Vulnerability is the secret ingredient to authentic relationships. It takes courage to share your true self, flaws and all, but it's in this openness that deeper bonds are formed. Yes, it's scary to risk rejection, but the reward is worth it. When you show up as your most authentic self, you naturally attract people who value that authenticity. So, here's a thought. What's one truth about yourself you've been afraid to share? The reward of these connections goes beyond companionship. They fuel your spiritual growth. Authentic relationships challenge you, inspire you, and hold space for your transformation. They're the people who remind you of your worth when you forget and push you to rise higher. These connections aren't just nice to have. They're essential for living in alignment with your energy and purpose. How different would your life look if you were surrounded by people like this? But even with the right people, deeper relationships come with their own challenges, especially for those with heightened sensitivity. Navigating emotional absorption requires intention and care. In the next section, we'll explore how to protect your energy while still fostering these authentic connections. For now, reflect on this. What's one small step you could take today toward creating the relationships your soul craves? Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly felt emotions that weren't even yours? For spiritually sensitive individuals, this happens all the time. You pick up on the unspoken, anger, sadness, joy, almost like a sponge absorbing water. While this ability gives you unparalleled emotional awareness, it can also leave you feeling heavy, confused, and even drained. So the big question is, how can you stop absorbing what doesn't belong to you? Emotional overload is real, and it's exhausting. You might notice it as fatigue, irritability, or even physical tension after spending time with certain people or in certain places. Crowded spaces are especially overwhelming, with so many conflicting energies swirling around. This isn't all in your head. It's your heightened sensitivity reacting to the environment. If you've ever felt the need to retreat after a social event, you're not alone. Does that sound familiar? One of the most effective ways to protect yourself is by creating mental barriers. Imagine surrounding yourself with a bubble of light, strong yet flexible, allowing in only the energy that serves you. This visualization might sound simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Next time you're heading into a crowded space, give it a try. What color would your protective bubble be? And how might it feel to finally walk through the world without being weighed down? Silence is another underrated yet powerful tool. In a world that's constantly buzzing, silence gives you a chance to recalibrate. Whether it's a moment of quiet in the morning or a silent walk in nature, these pauses help you release what you've absorbed. Silence isn't just the absence of noise, it's the presence of peace. When was the last time you allowed yourself the luxury of true silence? Self-care isn't just a buzzword, it's a lifeline for spiritually sensitive individuals. Activities like journaling, meditation, or even a warm bath can help you release the energy you've taken on. It's about creating rituals that bring you back to your center. What's one thing you could add to your daily routine to help you reset and recharge? Remember, taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. Perhaps the most crucial skill is learning to distinguish between what's yours and what's not. When you feel a sudden wave of sadness or anxiety, pause and ask yourself, is this mine? Often, you'll realize it's something you've picked up from someone else. Once you recognize it, visualize sending it back to its source or releasing it into the universe. How freeing would it be to carry only your own emotions? Navigating energy absorption is about learning to balance your gift without letting it overwhelm you. But what happens when you're exposed to hundreds of energies at once, like in a crowd or busy public space? In the next section, we'll dive into the overwhelming nature of heightened sensitivity and explore the patterns and insights that come with it. For now, think about this. What's one small change you could make today to protect your energy? Imagine this. You're standing in a crowded room, and your heightened sensitivity is picking up on over 100 different radio signals at once. One person is radiating frustration, another is exuding sadness, and someone else is buzzing with excitement. It's like tuning into all these frequencies without the ability to turn any off. No wonder it feels overwhelming. But here's the thing. This sensitivity isn't a flaw. It's a gift that lets you perceive what others can't. The question is, how do you navigate this chaos without losing yourself? Crowded spaces amplify everything. The more people around, the more energy swirling in the air. For someone with heightened sensitivity, it can feel like an emotional storm, a whirlwind of thoughts, feelings, and vibrations that crash into you all at once. Even if nothing big happens, you leave feeling drained or even disoriented. This isn't your imagination. It's your sensitivity reacting to the sheer volume of energy. Can you think of a time when a crowd left you completely exhausted? Spiritual leaders throughout history have shown us the power of stepping away. Take Jesus, for example, who often retreated to the wilderness for solitude and clarity. It wasn't avoidance, it was preparation. These moments of withdrawal weren't about running from the world, but about reconnecting with a deeper sense of purpose. If they needed solitude to realign, isn't it fair to say that you might, too? What wisdom could you gain from following this pattern? In the midst of this chaos lies an incredible truth. Heightened sensitivity is a window into life's interconnectedness. You're not just sensing individual emotions, you're feeling the collective energy of the space. This awareness is a reminder that we're all deeply connected, even when it's overwhelming. What if instead of seeing it as a burden, you saw it as proof of your divine purpose? How might that shift your perspective? Understanding this dynamic is transformative. It allows you to see your sensitivity as a tool rather than a weakness. With the right practices, you can learn to filter the noise and focus on the signals that matter. This isn't about shutting off your gift, it's about mastering it. What if every overwhelming moment was an opportunity to grow stronger and more attuned to your path? Navigating crowded spaces becomes easier with the right tools. Protective visualization, grounding exercises, and pre-event preparation can all help you stay centered. For example, before entering a busy environment, try visualizing a calm, grounding light surrounding you. Carry a small object, like a crystal or charm, to anchor your energy. Small steps like these can make a world of difference. What strategy might you try next time you're heading into a crowd? The truth is, chosen ones often need distance from the noise to thrive. It's not about avoiding the world, it's about approaching it on your own terms, with your energy intact. In the introduction, we'll explore why stepping away isn't weakness but wisdom, and how it aligns with your spiritual awakening. For now, ask yourself this: how can you create space for your sensitivity to flourish, even in the busiest of environments? So, what's your next move? Now that you understand why crowds can be so draining and how crucial it is to protect your energy, how will you apply this knowledge? Your heightened sensitivity isn't something to fix. It's a superpower waiting to be mastered. Imagine a life where you're no longer overwhelmed in crowds, where solitude fuels your spiritual growth, and where authentic connections lift you up instead of wearing you down. Doesn't that sound like a life worth creating? Here's the challenge. Start small. Maybe it's carving out a few minutes of quiet solitude today, or practicing one of the energy management techniques we talked about. These small changes compound into massive shifts. And trust me, your soul will thank you for it. But here's the thing: knowledge is useless without action. So, what's one step you can take right now to protect your energy and honor your divine purpose? If this video opened your eyes or gave you a new perspective, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who might need to hear this too. Together, we can create a ripple effect of awareness and growth. And hey, if you're ready to go deeper, I've got more insights waiting for you. Click here to watch the next video. It's the perfect follow-up to everything we just talked about. You won't want to miss it. Let's make this a journey, not a one-time insight. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a step. And if this message resonated with you, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Remember, chosen one, you're not alone on this path. Let's navigate it together.